Paying off debt doesn't build wealth. In fact, you can reach financial independence and live abundantly without ever becoming debt-free. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why that is and how it works. Hi, I'm Tasha Cochran. I'm a lawyer and a wealth expert, and this is One Big Happy Life, where we help you find balance, build wealth, and live happy. Everything that you need to create the life that you want. So tell me, is your mind blown right now? Like, did it just when I said that actually you don't have to be debt-free in order to reach financial independence? Because that's true. It's 100% true. Because here's the thing. We have to remember, all of us, our ultimate goal is to reach financial independence because we want to be able to support ourselves when we're older and either we're ready to stop working or we're not able to work anymore, right? Having a nest egg is essential because gone are the days for most people where you work for an employer for 30 plus years and then they support you for the rest of your life. And the truth is social safety nets like Social Security, they weren't really meant to provide an abundant lifestyle in retirement. So in order to reach financial freedom, we all want to make sure that we are self-funding that, meaning that we are building a nest egg. We are building income-producing assets that can support us for the rest of our lives. So we're all that is our baseline, that our goal is to reach financial independence. That is our number one ultimate financial goal. Now, before we dive into the why behind why you actually don't need to be focused on being debt-free in order to reach financial independence, I wanted to let you know that I am going to be teaching a live investing workshop where I'm going to be walking you through step by step the nuts and bolts of investing to help you understand exactly what investing is, investing in the stock market, how it works, what all the lingo means, and how to put together a multi-million-dollar investing strategy on autopilot. So head on over to onebighappylife.com/workshop and save your seat, and let's start getting you on the path to building wealth. And again, here we're defining financial independence as having enough money to support your desired lifestyle in retirement. So what does that definition not include? It doesn't include being debt-free. Why? Because you can be financially independent and have a nest egg that supports whatever your expenses are in retirement. And those expenses can include debt. So let me give you an example of what that could look like. So let's say that someone has, $100,000 in expenses in retirement. And this is, it's on the higher side, right? So, but just bear with me here. So let's say this person has a lake house that still has a mortgage on it, and they are older and they don't like having to worry about car repairs. So even though they don't drive their car a lot, they like to lease their car. So they always have newer cars with newer safety features. And let's also say that they're a little travel bug in their older years. They like to go visit the grandkids a couple times a year, and they like to take a couple international cruises a few times a year. So that's why their expenses are $100K a year. So knowing going into retirement that their expenses are $100K a year, or they want their expenses to be $100K a year, all they have to do is make sure that they are investing enough money that will provide them with $100,000 in income in retirement. And again, this can be in the form of stock market investments. This can be in the form of real estate investments, any income producing asset. So you invest in it with your money, and then later on, and your money grows in value, and later on it can pay you money to help support your lifestyle. Let's recap what we've already covered here. First, that our ultimate goal is to reach financial independence. That is the goal that we want our money to accomplish for us, right? Secondly, we know that in order to reach financial independence, we just have to have a nest egg or assets of sufficient size that can provide us with the income that we need in retirement. So how do you accomplish that? How do you build the large enough nest egg in order to support yourself in retirement? And the answer is you do it by investing. And there are lots of different ways that you can invest. And some really simple ones are investing in the stock market, investing in real estate, and investing in perhaps your own company or funding small companies versus investing in the stock market. But do you notice what is not on that list? Paying off debt. Because paying off debt doesn't actually put any of your money towards income producing assets. What it does is reduce your debt load and reduces your expenses, but it does not, in and of itself, by itself, build wealth. So paying off debt is one thing and building wealth is another. So paying off debt is over here and building wealth is over here. They are actually two very separate things. Now, when most people talk about paying off debt when it comes to personal finance and building wealth, they'll say that, well, one of the big benefits of paying off debt is that you can reduce your expenses, which is absolutely true. Paying off debt does reduce your expenses. So when you reduce your expenses, two things happen. So one, you'll have more money to invest, to put towards building your nest egg. And two, you will need less money at the end of your life because your expenses are lower. But in order to accomplish that lowering of your expenses, you are purposefully putting money, instead of putting it in the income producing assets, you are actively not putting money towards that. You are putting it towards debt. So when you couple this prioritizing of debt and debt payoff with the lack of savings habit building, because savings is a habit that you have to build, also the lack of getting the information that you need to even understand how to invest because you're spending so much time focused on debt payoff, and you add in the years of not investing, what happens is it puts so many people in a position where they're not able to catch back up. Because when it comes to investing and building wealth, time and compounding interest are your two biggest supporters. They are what can take what is really a small amount of contributions month over month over the course of years and turn it into millions of dollars. And what will often happen is that people will focus on paying off debt because they think that that is the thing that they truly need to focus on the most, and they don't realize that they're actually getting farther and farther and farther behind when it comes to this other goal of actually reaching financial independence, because that goal feels kind of invisible. It's very easy to forget to pay yourself when no one ever told you that it's important for you to pay yourself first. So you're putting yourself in a position where you're delaying getting started on investing, which means that you are more in danger of having less in retirement, right? And so then what do you have to do? You have to crunch your budget in retirement. So you have to scramble to try to do whatever you can to reduce your expenses in retirement so that your nest egg can cover it. Now, here's also the next big problem with that. So people will often say, well, if my debt's low, then my expenses are lower, so I'll figure something out so that I can cover my expenses later on, right? But when we are talking about retirement, so number one, you might not be able to work more, even if you wanted to. So many retirees are forced to retire because they are no longer able to work. So being able to fall back on just working again may not even be an option for you. But secondly, think about it. You are choosing to prioritize paying off debt, something where you have so many options to take care of over the course of years, and you're deprioritizing investing for your own financial freedom, something that you cannot figure out another way to fund when you're old. So what you're doing is potentially putting yourself at extreme financial risk when you're older and least able to do anything about it, versus making sure that you're taking care of your nest egg now and then doing the things that you need to do to earn more income now so that you can also pay off your debt. The other thing is this idea that debt is the thing that should get the number one focus. It has so many negative impacts on your ability to manage your finances well right now. So number one, because you're told that you should focus on debt, what does it stop you from doing? It stops you from actually crunching the numbers to figure out which course of action is going to get you to your best financial outcome. And so you're not making decisions intentionally, right? You're not making those trade-offs intentionally. For example, if you were to choose to pay off your debt, you should also know, okay, well, if I spend a year paying off this debt, that means I'll need to put this much more money towards my retirement to hit my goals, right? But when you focus just on debt payoff without crunching these other numbers, then you're not making and a well-informed choice for what you're doing with your finances. The other thing with this pay debt off first mindset is that it sets up this very short-term thinking where the goal is to always save the most money, meaning spend the least money in the short term, even if doing that will compromise your longer term, more expensive, bigger goals. And the reason why that happens is because, again, we're not taught future thinking. We're not taught to look at our financial decisions from the perspective of not just what's the cost to me now, but also what is the cost to me later. And these are muscles, these are skills that need to be developed over time. So if we spend years, decades not honing them, then it's so much harder to establish them later on. So just remember, your goal, your ultimate goal is to reach financial independence, to make sure that you are building a nest egg that will support you when you're ready to stop working, whenever that is. And so you also need to decide kind of what do you want your life to look like when you're done working? What will that life cost? And then that will help inform how much you need to start investing now. So then you can start making the financial decisions that's going to optimize your outcomes, both now and in the future. And I just want you to remember that you don't have to pay off debt and become debt-free in order to reach financial freedom. Your nest egg can grow and service your debts, and you have the option of then, once you've accomplished this other big goal of financial freedom, you can choose to pay off your debts if you so choose, right? But just make sure that you're not compromising your big long-term goals because of short-term goals, because someone else said that you should. Because, at the end of the day, you are the one that has to live with the financial decisions that you make. And I want for you to have an abundant financial life where you get to spend now, enjoy your life now, and also build a multiple seven-figure nest egg that will support you in abundance, whatever abundance looks like for you when you're ready to stop working. In an upcoming video, I will be crunching the numbers and really showing you how this all shakes out in real life using real numbers. But for now, I want you to just think about it. Drop whatever questions you have for me down below. I read them and I use them to help decide what kind of videos I want to make in the future. But also make sure that you head on over to onebighappylife.com/workshop and join me live for the investing workshop, because this is such an essential skill. You've got to know how to do it. You can't just outsource it without you first having that baseline foundational knowledge about how investing works, how it fits into your overall investing strategy and financial plan, and how to actually take action and implement your investing strategy. And I will teach you all of that when you join me live for the investing workshop. And again, the URL is onebighappylife.com/workshop. I'll see you in the next video.